Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about Scotland's oldest distillery ditching peat.
Woohoo!
My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Von Nieters, Goeken, Darren MacLeod, and Royce Neely.
Hey gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey y'all. Hola.
It's exciting. It is over. It's over. America has won. Bourbon has won the whiskey wars. Scotland's basically thrown in the towel. We've got to ditch the peat. It's over. It's over. Once the oldest one does it, they're all going to follow suit and be like, we can't compete with bourbon, so we're just going to try to join and do the best we can. So it's fun. We'll get to that, though, discussion after the break and talk about, it's finally going away. The rotary dial of whiskey is finally just being discontinued, so good deal. Von Nieters, you said there's something you want to talk about. What is that?
I do. So, is there any reason or situation you might pay over MSRP for a certain bottle of whiskey?
Yes.
No.
Sure would. If I could flip it.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. There you go. That's a legitimate reason.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
If I know some dumbass is going to pay me $500 more for a bottle of Weller that I can buy it for, absolutely, I'm going to buy it and then sell it to him.
Okay.
All right.
That's a legit reason. And how much are you talking about over? I mean, because MSRP, if it's $10 over, and it's
I don't know. You tell me you tell me what you would do.
Since you're not giving any parameters, then the answer has to be yes. Because if it's supposed to be $149 and it's $155, I think you're still going to buy it. So yes, there can be a case built where yes, you do pay over MSRP. Sure.
I like Antique 107 for $30 a bottle. Fantastic pour. For $30 a bottle, I used to get it for back in college.
Right.
Am I going to pay $200 for it now? Absolutely not. If somebody else will, and I can get it for $30, sure, I'll buy it and flip it to them. Why not? Wouldn't you?
Would you buy one for $50 and drink it?
No, fuck no.
No, 30 is that's
hangover ain't worth it, old buddy.
Yeah, that's still a weird one, right? Why is 107 higher price than the 12? I don't understand.
Because it's better than the 12. Yeah, the 107 is way better than the 12.
Okay, but it's also non-age stated, and it's lower proof. Or no, it's not.
No, it's higher proof.
90 proof versus 12, but it's a 12-year. It's a 12-year versus
90.
12-year versus non-age stated. Name another whiskey where a company has a 12-year-old product or something that's 10 years or older and then does something lesser than that. It just doesn't happen, right? It's a weird situation.
So Steve Akeley saying that age statements matter on all your whiskey. That's the only thing that matters when going into whiskey.
I've always said that age statements
let it be known, Steve Akeley only cares about age statements.
That's all I care about.
He's an age proofer.
I'll tell you what, I am definitely interested in this new age state. It's that old Granddad 16.
There you go.
That's what I want to try. I'm interested in that one. You guys?
I am too. I haven't tried it. No.
I'm interested, not for the price point though.
What's the price point on that one? I heard it was like $140. That's not too bad.
I guess at least when I saw it, it was like 180, and I did not want to pay that for it.
And 100 proof.
No,
yeah, it's lower proof too. Yeah, that's.
I'm just not an old granddad fan.
Really? How?
What the hell?
I know.
How can you not be an old granddad fan?
Well,
So you don't
what's
like whiskey then? So you don't like whiskey, is what you're saying.
What's crazy is I like 101 a lot, but I don't care for old granddad.
I like both.
I mean,
not that hard.
I agree with half your statement.
Huh. Doesn't like old granddad. I don't understand. It's great whiskey.
Have you had Old Granddad 114 in the last year?
In the last
Take a bottle
year,
and bond
no.
over 114.
Yeah, I would too. When I had both, I preferred the bonded over the 114.
Hell, Becca and I keep an 80 proof bottle behind our the pillow in our bedroom.
Oh,
It's right behind the remote.
right behind the remote. Yeah.
Just reaching
That's
for
what
the
he was
granddad.
grabbing for. That's why the
Yeah.
that's why the TV was still on.
That's why I choked him out.
That's why she choked him out. You're not getting my old granddad.
I think so.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Now, one time he told me to bring up the remote, and I just tossed it through the cat door. Just winged it in there. Just winged it across the floor.
Hey, we're like Napolitanos. You just got to go searching for Napolitanos.
Yeah. Napolitano tells me we're spending the night in the hotel room, and he says he has to fall asleep with the TV on. So I was like, shit, I don't like the TV on when I go to sleep, but I ultimately do fall asleep. But then he tells me, you know what, if you need to turn off at any point during the night, you can. And then so I finally fall asleep with the TV on, but then I wake up and it's like, I don't know, 2 a.m, and he's watching helicopter rescues, and it's so loud. He's got it like turned all the way up. So I was like, well, he did say I could turn off the remote. If he's asleep, he won't wake up. So I look over and he's got the fucking remote control laying on his dick. And I was like, fuck me.
So I quickly grabbed it and gave it a good old jerk.
No, I had to sit there with fucking with 2 pillows over my head, listen to fucking helicopter rescues. It's like, yeah, come on, grab the rope. That was horrible.
Only there was a button on the TV that you could have pushed to turn it off.
Just laying like that. He's laying like a baby with like his arms up, on the bed, just spread eagle. And there's that remote laying right across his dick. I'm like,
What's the last thing you touched?
I guess. I don't know. I wasn't grabbing that. So, yeah. I was like, fuck me. So
You got a handful of remote that day.
yeah, terrible. What were we talking about? I don't know. Well, no one knows.
No one knows. Age statements?
Oh,
No. Would you
MSRP.
buy over
Buy a
MSRP?
bottle over MSRP.
Oh, would you buy over
I think
MSRP?
Yeah, I think
you
after-
have 2 yeses so far.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. If it's one of those deals where it's a couple $3, $5, whatever, but it's the going price. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm not buying a Steinkamp Blanton's.
No, I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. That stuff's just stupid. I wouldn't even enjoy it. I love George C. Stagg, but if I was like, I spent $1,500 on this, I couldn't enjoy that.
But what about George C. Stagg for 200?
Maybe. I think I could do that.
$100 for Stag. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, George C. Stagg, but so that's over MSRP. So yes, I mean, again, there's examples where I would, but I wouldn't go crazy. I'm not one of those guys who'll go crazy over this stuff. So I just always figure something else will pop up, or I'll get it down the road at some point. I'll revisit it.
Rarely is a bottle of bourbon worth more than $100. Stag, one of them. Weller, W.L. Weller's definitely worth one of them. And I'll tell you, man, I like Handy. The Handy BTAC releases are fantastic. I would definitely pay a little bit over $100 for those. But besides that, man, I mean, birthday bourbon, they're just not there.
Right.
That's for me.
That's for you.
Handy is the most underrated BTAC collection, I think, in my opinion.
Okay.
Darren told me he'd overpay for a Handy any day.
Hey now.
Ooh, the Handy.
Becca, how about you? Would you overpay for whiskey? Would you go over MSRP?
I'm kind of with you on this one, where it's like how much over?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Since he's not telling us anything, I think the answer has got to be yes, right? But very limited.
Yeah, say not by a lot.
Right, unless you get in a situation where you call your buddy and he's like, "Hey, if you ever see one of these you name it, Blanton's, and I'll give you $300 for it. It's $69. Well, then yeah, sure.
Well, they better Venmo me the money first, because I'm
Sure.
not going to spend $300 on a bottle that I think I'm going to make $600 on, and then they don't send me the money. They go, actually, I'm going to have to wait till payday.
It sounds tempting, but yeah.
When I really think about it, my wife won't let me.
I'm gonna get new shower curtains.
I mean, even with putting a stipulation on reselling it, I think we all say yes, even if it's a few dollars above MSRP. If something that's
even you would pay more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it's yes over MSRP, no to secondary.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, and also I also think if something meant something more to me, like something signed by if I were to go to Wild Turkey and got a bottle signed by Jimmy Russell, I would totally overpay for something like that, or
Sure.
something.
So, technically, a lot of the Jim Beam is the example I'm going to use because I know it's a fact. Their prices are over MSRP at the distillery.
Right.
So, Booker's is 115 there, and I have bought Booker's from them. I don't find that a problem. I think it's a good way to not outcompete local liquor stores.
I think it's a good business move because number one, it's more profitable for them. Number two, it's like, hey, we're being good to our vendors. Number three, they're selling to a captive audience who may also hey, Fred knows here. I want to get the sign. I'll pay more. So I just think it's smart.
And at the end of the day, it's a convenience fee. You know that you're going to get it there, and I mean,
Royce has a bottle signed by Jimmy Russell. He'll sell you.
I do. Yes, I would definitely sell that.
the negotiations start.
Okay. Yeah, this will be interesting. So,
I just recently acquired the 70th anniversary signed, so
there you go. That's a good one to get signed for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little bit different, but yes.
I've got one I got to get signed now. So I got the Booker's that has Jimmy and Fredno on there. So I got a couple bottles of that actually, and I got to get that signed by both of them. So Jimmy, I just got to go to the distillery. Fred, I just got to show up at his house. What do you want? Can you sign these two bottles?
So you can't just show up at Jimmy's house? That's a shame. I was really hoping that somewhere in the back of your catalog you had his address.
If I knew where Jimmy lived, I would. Yeah, no, nothing like that. So I wanted to make a Christmas movie. This is my idea, to do a Christmas movie to how do famous bourbon people celebrate the holidays and shoot it like this time of the year, and then see what they do. Because my idea, the only reason I wanted to do all that is I just want to go over to their houses.
Yeah.
But the idea was I'm making a Christmas movie that so I wanted to, of course the Russells were on there and the Nose, and I thought this would be cool. I'll do that, but never got that one together. So maybe one day that'll happen. We'll see. But yeah,
it's a good idea, Steve. I like that
idea.
Next Christmas, put it on the agenda.
Yes, I would. Maybe that'll happen. That would be so cool to do that movie. I had my idea that in between segments it is narrated by Jason Bronner in a different Christmas sweater. I even bought the Christmas sweater. I got Christmas sweaters for Bronner in his.
Now we're going back to the Nose house.
Let's check in now on the Nose.
See what they.
So wait, you went and bought him sweaters?
Yeah, I was like, I came up with this idea around Christmas. So, and after Christmas that year, Jason's all in because he wants to be on a movie, of course. So he's all in, and I was like, "What size sweater?" I wear a medium. I'm like, that fucker guy wears a medium. It's gonna be so. It's gonna be, it's all gonna be really, really tight and all that. I thought this would just add to it. So I waited till after Christmas and bought all these sweaters. They're down to because they're Christmas sweaters. I went to Kohl's and they were like, $3, $5. So I bought these Christmas sweaters and my wife's like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Oh, I said for something I got."
Hey, the general's like, "What are you doing buying mediums, Steve? Come on."
So I bought all these Christmas sweaters. Yeah.
I can just see it now. You got one with a reindeer on it, and the belly's all stretched out.
Some of them are like half shirts because they're so small on them.
First ever.
I just think that just adds to the movie.
Coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you could get him in one of those and his shorts, sitting back on his couch, and like he was in that Bourbon Reminiscing.
Yeah. Yeah. Check out Bourbon Reminiscing on YouTube, by the way. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it is good stuff. Good stuff. All right. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Von Nieters this time. What do you got, dude?
I have Penelope Estate Collection 10-year-old bourbon.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Hit the desk there a little bit.
Yeah, a little tap.
Little tap on the desk. Solid cork pop though. So yeah, it took away from it a little bit with the fail there, but all right, still solid. Goeken, you're next.
I have MB Roland Potts Distilled Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey from the Barrel Shop. This is have a name? Doesn't have a name.
Okay.
Just a barrel pick.
Okay. I think Von Nieters got you there, so he's got the lead. Royce, what do you got?
I have the Maker's Mark limited release RC6.
Okay. Okay. Von Nieters still has the lead. Beka is next.
I've got some Dark Arts Whiskey House here. This is the straight rye finished in toasted Amburana oak staves.
Okay. Okay. I think that's our lead. Yeah, especially with the foul that Von Nieters had. So that Beka has the lead.
That's really good for a rubber cork as well.
Whatever.
Darren, you're next.
I have some Foregate rye whiskey. They're Andalusia Key rye. Silent.
Okay. Silent.
And
All right. I've got Booker's here, the tag-along batch. I feel like this is appropriate for this show because Booker, he'd love to see this day, the day that Scotland finally throws in the towel and says, you guys won. So we're here. We're finally there now. So let's see what we got here. Oh. Royce, who won that, Beka or I?
Miss Beka Sue.
She's got it. I have to live with it, as bad as that is. I'm proud of Royce for going for harmony in his household, actually, even though I know I won. So
Harmony in the house.
Yeah, harmony in the house is better than giving me the win. So cheers.
Buddy.
Cheers. You did have a little squeak, Steve, so I think it's a fair win.
Okay,
Steve
fair
Squeak.
enough. Fair enough. I when we throw it to a judge, we have to live with it, no matter how wrong we think it is.
Goken's not coming back.
What's that? Goeken, did he go or not?
No, I was joking about Goeken saying that you lost. I was like, oh, he's not coming back anymore.
No. Goeken, well, we may throw it to a vote. We know how Von Nieters is going to vote, so we'll we won't throw it to him. But yeah, we'll see how other people vote as he get to come back. So, all right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about this situation. The oldest Scottish distillery says no more peat. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
This is Katie Proof, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Scotch Daily. Today we're talking about the oldest distillery in Scotland ditching peat.
Yes, we are. While we're talking about that, the backstory to this is bourbon has won. So they're admitting that the peat sucks, and we're not going to do that anymore. And we're going to kind of try to be more like bourbon. So the Glenturret is what we're talking about here, out of Perthshire, Scotland, officially founded in 1763. Though they do have a distillery, some distilling history going back to 1717. We're talking about non-tax-paying, so Royce would appreciate that. He's got a family history there that involves that kind of stuff, and apparently their history goes back as early as 1717. Probably one of the most famous things about that distillery, outside of the fact that it's the oldest Scottish distillery, is the fact that Towser the Mouser was from there. So that's the famous mouse-killing cat with 28,899 confirmed kills. Who was patrolling there from 1963 to 1983. They do have a statue of Towser, which is pretty amazing. And that's a lot of kills for sure. So in 2025, so next year, actually, they're going to be moving away from the peated malt. And peated expressions will be removed altogether in 2026. So they have to gradually stair-step out of this, but it'll be all gone by 2026. And I think it's interesting because, again, we know that as it sits today, even not all scotches are peated, but it is so associated with that this is a big move. Actually, it's probably some risk involved here too for them, I would guess. But it's interesting. So, what do you guys think about this?
So I did a little research. I have been ready for the show since you sent out the show notes, which was quite a long time ago this time.
I actually was on this. Yes, this is all I've got in the hopper now. I don't have anything planned beyond this. But I was organized for about a week there. Maybe.
Yeah. But they have two products. One is a limited release and one is like a shelf bottle. These two products are their only peated products that they have. They have, in terms of limited releases, they have 7 other limited releases. They have one peated product. So it's not like this is a distillery that's known for doing good stuff with peat. That is putting peat.
It'd be like Maker's Mark says we're no longer going to use wheat, and we'd be like, that's no big deal. That's no big deal. They only got one mash bill, and they're just going to remove that wheat from one mash bill. What does that matter? No, you're not going to downplay this. It's important. This is big news.
But it's not Lagavulin, Lefroy, or Ardbeg saying we're going to stop peat, where their livelihood is being the peat guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's coming. Get ready. Get ready.
And also, their products are barely sold in America. They are not in any Midwestern states. They are a Scottish thing, but they're not mostly sold here in America.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it before, even though it's a Glen something. It was not one that I had heard of, and I didn't look into it far enough. Are they in the Isla area or?
Nope.
So they're importing their peat.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I mean, not importing; it's the same country.
That's as big as what state is Scotland? As big as what Delaware? I mean, it's not like
I was thinking Kentucky. Like it is similar. It's not big.
Yeah. I wonder if Kentucky's bigger than Scotland.
I'm pretty sure Kentucky's bigger. Yeah,
I think it is too. I
was just throwing out.
Scotland's small. Scotland's small. So
I know Germany's the size of Montana.
Okay.
That was on a German test when I was like in 10th grade, and it stuck with me all these years.
Germany's the size of Montana. Okay, that's good to know. Now we all know that too.
Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know. So you think it's not a big deal? You think it's not a big deal?
I do not think it's a big deal at all.
Okay.
I think it's like someone saying they're changing the type of water they're using to make their whiskey.
I think that is a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal.
I think changing the water is a big deal. I think this is a big deal for what it says.
I think it's all a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I think it is a big deal because you think about this. There's like what do you say? They got 7 other ones and they got 2. Well, I'll tell you what. What about their fans that are like, well, the only ones that I actually like out of this company are the 2 ones with the peat. Well,
they don't like them enough because this year's limited release was still for sale last year's and the year before. So
yeah, I'm thinking they're getting rid of it because it wasn't selling. Yeah.
For
300 fucking years.
Right. Exactly.
They weren't doing peated for 300 years, though. They picked that up more recently in the 1900s.
Scotland is 75% the size of Kentucky, by the way.
So, yeah, there you go. That's significantly smaller, by the way.
That is way smaller.
30,000 square miles versus 40,000 square miles.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nothing against them. I understand from this aspect, it's like a tree. It's not growing, it's dying. So, like, you have to understand where your business model is going and, move towards the consumers and whatnot. But it is strange for somebody that's been making it that way for that long, right?
They haven't
Right.
the whole time.
Well, even if it's the 1900s, that's
It's still a pretty long time. That's why I wasn't going to disagree with that.
Their history is so long that 100 years seems short. If there's a distillery in the U.S. that's 100 years old, that's very old. So
100 years old is the entire time of Heaven Hill.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 100 years is a long time. So
I appreciate the fact of what they're doing, and I think they're going to be fine. To stay with the pot still and do what they're doing, but
Yeah, if we can. If they want to come to Missouri, the great state of Missouri, I'll carry something there as a show of respect for getting rid of peat. And that'll be.
I'm not a peat fan myself either, but.
Right.
I imagine it must taste pretty good on its own without it if they're switching to this new model.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah.
Towser used to love it.
I would imagine that they have plenty of people who are tasting it. They have people at work there that taste it. And so they believe that this is good enough that it's going to be well received.
Man, peat is so heavy. It's such a heavy influence to any type of distillation.
Right.
They wouldn't quit making their best seller.
Exactly.
Right.
No, never.
You wouldn't go, well, this is what the only thing we sell, we should stop.
Right.
I'm telling you, man, throughout not just the United States, but across the globe, we are going through a very major, like distillation renaissance. It's happening all over the place. And people are changing and adapting to what's going on. And I really think it's a really cool thing that's going on. And I think it's happening there in Scotland as well. To where maybe their fans are like, hey, we want to buy what you have, but not this. So, as a producer, they're going to change and adapt.
Do you think there's a craft type movement
Yes.
going on there?
100%, absolutely. Everywhere in the world there is right now. It's the first time ever that we've seen such a major move across the entire globe for a craft style movement. It's just an adaptation to the norm outside of what everything else was going on.
Right.
It's incredible what's happening right now. And we're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, we've definitely seen major change. You think it,
Irish whiskey? I mean, all the way up to gins and rums and everything else. I mean, it's such a change, and it's so much more focused on what the consumer's buying.
Well, that's why Jim Beam put in the...
Jim Beam white label's down 40% right now.
But
Jim Beam is about to kill off their #1 bourbon in the world. And you know why? Because college kids aren't drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's
so
happening right now. Right now, that's happening.
The Freddie No distillery.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, they're trying to adapt. Yeah. It's not a very good adaptation, but they tried. They didn't do a very good job of it, but they tried. They just put another column still in and called it Freddie No Distillery, or Fred No.
The No's listen to this, by the way.
Yeah, I love the No's. I love the No's. And I love Freddie a lot. call it the Freddie No Distillery, and let's move on from who's actually distilling over there right now.
Right. I think that yes, we are at a time when innovation leads things and change and new items, and you think about what our dads drank versus what we think about all the offerings we have and all the new things and all the finishes and all the man. They didn't have anything like that, and now it's all about it is all about adapting and coming up with what's new, and it's almost like a little snapshot of what we see at the barrel shop, because that's what we always see too is you think about what happens if a barrel pick doesn't sell out. We're going to have it for a long time. If it doesn't sell out in 3 weeks, we're going to have it for a year or more because people move on. They're on to the next thing. What's your next barrel pick that's coming out? They're not revisiting the ones that have been there. They're not tasting that. They want to taste what's new, what's next, and that's kind of what's going on in whiskey. So they're kind of doing what's new, what's next, it sounds like. So peat wasn't a big part of their portfolio, and it's just being discontinued like anything else would be discontinued, and they're moving on, and I'm sure they'll have 2 new products that'll come in and take the place of what they were doing with their peated whiskey before. So, yeah, probably do an Amberana finish.
I'm curious, where is Thumper in the the Mauser category? How many kills?
He's a killer, big time. And
20.
He branches out. It's not just mice. It's
Snakes and
People.
moles.
Lots of snakes, birds, bunnies.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Towser was over there patrolling for about 22 years. Thumper's in there for 8, I think, now.
Yeah.
So Thumper's got a long way to go. But on the if we were talking about like years to ratio kill wise, I would say Thumper is definitely right where Towser was definitely at.
Really?
Oh yes.
You should have been keeping track of this because he could have ultimately taken over. But yeah, you don't know since you haven't kept track.
I'm telling you, Thumper's a stone cold killer.
Yeah. Thumper's getting lazy in his older age.
Hey, I like when he walks up there and you just see him just ching, throw him out.
Right.
Does he drop them off for you?
Oh yeah,
leave him. Yeah.
I tell you something that Towser never had that Thumper has is an audience so much. Thumper's a showman, by far, big time. And like
I've never seen
Molly come in, he'll bring Molly Woman a mole. Here you go, Molly. He'll go past everybody else and be like, "Here you go, Molly Woman." Bam. Tell me about it. And he brings Beka snakes, to everybody else. Brings right to Beka. I mean, I'm telling you, the cat's a showman.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like
He
it.
has
Like when you're
ulterior motives.
Now, nothing against Towser the Mauser, because he's an animal. He was, no doubt.
But when you're doing a tour, it's amazing to me that cat will follow along on the tour, and then when you're like talking about the vats, he'll climb up on top of one of the mash vats there and walk around it, or he'll when you're in the rick house, he'll climb up into the ricks and show that off. I mean,
Here's my cue.
Hey, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. With my grandfather, with Thumper, I mean, I don't know how I get these celebrities around here. I don't know how the hell I do it. They just show up.
Yeah.
Married me.
Yeah, that's true.
Beka. I got Beka.
True.
She looks good standing there. It's it's not bad.
Yeah.
Thumper's newest thing is the guys told me that I need to get some sort of enclosed box because we've got oyster crackers in little like single packs, like individual packs, and they're just in a box because like they're sealed up, like they're fine. But Thumper has somehow discovered that they're something he could eat. And so, in the most recent him hanging out,
He likes oyster crackers.
well, he
Cleans the palate after catching mice.
there was about 15, 20 people in the tour room doing their tasting, and Thumper stole one of the packs and then jumped up on a table, ripped it open, and was throwing it in the air and batting them around. And Sean said everyone just stopped and looked back, and Thumper was just batting them in the air.
Yeah.
He's making
I
his
used
own
to do that with
charcuterie
my
board. A
muffin
little bit of
balls.
steak, a little bit of mice, crackers, cheese.
I'll tell you one thing about Thumper. He
show
was
off.
very, very, very upset after Papaw passed away.
Uh-huh.
I was actually really worried about the cat. I thought he was gonna pass away because he got so depressed. But he seems to be coming out of it now. But
Right.
Thumper really loved my grandfather, and he definitely really missed him.
Oh yeah.
It was very interesting thing to watch that go on with that
Well,
cat.
from the cat's perspective, because it's interesting, and then from your grandfather, this hard-nosed guy, coming in, and he would tell you he doesn't like animals or whatever, and all this, but hey, Thumper, and the cat would come running to him. It was cool. It was cool to see.
My grandpa would have shot you over that cat.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. Like
Yeah,
100% would have shot you over that cat.
Yep. that cat was very
And that
depressed.
cat
though.
is very depressed when my grandfather has been gone.
Yeah.
Like he's just now starting to get over it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I agree 100% with that. It's taken about a year, and he's
Yeah. Yeah. So.
been happy again.
Yeah. So one day there may be a statue of Thumper outside. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably. I tell you what, that little animal is worth his weight in gold. He's made me a lot of money, that little cat.
Yeah. It's something, isn't it? And he just showed up there, right? This is early days of the distillery.
I found that cat in some pallets outside when we were building the place. And he was
Was he
small.
like
He was about to die. I thought he was
So he was a
girl
kitten then?
for a long time
Yeah.
because his little nuts, weren't even there. And, yep,
It's a little nuts.
killing ever since.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. That's interesting. You had another cat too, though, that jumped up in
Orange?
somebody's car. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Orange, but he just didn't make it like Thumper did.
Right.
Orange was a gray cat, I'm guessing.
Yep, Orange was a great cat, Darren. Yeah.
Nailed it.
You got it, Darren.
Yeah. So Thumper's definitely a celebrity. My two favorite distillery cats, Thumper number one, and then I like Red at MB Roland. Those are two great distillery
Those
cats.
are two good distillery cats.
Yeah. Yeah. Red's the same way, man. He's all beaten up. He's got like a chunk missing out of his ear. He's all these fights and shit, man. So he's
Thumper, he's missing his tooth up there on the right side because we thought he was gone. I mean, for like a month, Thumper was missing, and we had moved the litter box out, and just full blown Thumper's out. There's no cat here, and then one morning he showed up again to Papaw. Papaw found him.
Yeah.
He's beat up, missing his tooth.
yeah. Yeah.
And then Peerless's cat, I forget its name, is like the
Rye?
most house
yeah.
cat ever. It is, but it's still nice. It will sit on your
That's
lap.
a good
but
cat. No. And then
It's
Ricky
not-
out at
I hung out with Rye last time I was there. I like Rye.
Rye's good, and then Ricky out at Castle and Keys, kind of a big.
I like Ricky
No,
too.
it's-
Ricky's great.
yeah, Ricky's good,
A lot of
yeah.
really good Kentucky distillery cats.
Yeah.
I think my son's cat could be a distillery cat.
You know what it is? They show off like they know that they're there for. I don't know what it is. They know
Right.
they're there for a presence. Thumper presents himself up there. Like you said, Akeley, he jumps up there on the fermenters and struts and. I mean, you look at Rye and Ricky and these guys. I don't understand how these cats know what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it either. So Red's the same way. We come there and he comes and greets you and then shows you around a little bit. And it's weird, man. These cats definitely know they have a role.
And none of these cats are trained to do this.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. There's
Because they are cats, and we're not training them.
If you look at
No.
Thumper, he's like, I'm gonna fucking.
Cats just like to kill.
yeah. What were you saying, Royce?
I said, if you look at Thumper, people will walk in, he'll be laying up on the bottles. Like the guys will be bottling in there, on the inside bottling line. He'll be laying up there and he'll look at him and just shing his fucking claws out. Like, I'm going to kill anything that moves. That's why he looks at you. You just walk on by him.
Right.
Wild, the way the cat acts.
Yeah.
Till kids come in, and then he just hangs out with kids.
Yeah, he hangs out with the kids, and he's a very good-natured animal. He really is.
Yeah. That's
Dean's
cool.
big fat ass couldn't handle it.
I can't imagine Dean being the distillery cat.
Yeah.
you quit after 2 days, nah, this ain't me.
He doesn't like people enough to hang out.
I'm going to mount Dean's big fat. When he dies, I'm going to mount him so Becca can just see him in his natural state. He never moves anyway, so he's just fat on the couch. I'll just mount him. There he is.
There he is. There's Dean.
I'm going to do the same thing with Royce.
Yeah.
You gonna mount him?
Hey now. Hey now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
There you go. There you go. On that note, we're going to wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Von Nieters, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Von Nieters.
Darren.
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures.
Goeken.
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Goeken.
All right, Royce.
Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Neely Family Distillery and at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We got a bunch of gift baskets in right now, but we'll be getting back to classes after the first year. So come by and see us. Check us out online, what we have going on at abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Fridays, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Adios.
Later.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.